Well, hello everyone. My name is David Trigg, author of the article on Leadership Online called High Anxiety, and author of my own ebook called How to Have an Anxiety-Free Holiday. I really think that the timing couldn't be any better for you and for your friends to discover what it means to live an anxious-free life. I think that these days, with so many events happening globally, locally, even in our own neighborhoods, it is a perfect time for you to understand how you can live a life free of fear, anxiety, and depression. My heart is for you to do the same kind of thing that I've been able to do over the last 10 years. By the grace of God, by learning a lot of tools, by investing over $10,000 and 10,000 hours with some of the best therapists around, I have been able, by the grace of God, to find grace amidst anxiety. I grew up a very happy boy, filled with life, with joy, with a love for music and for God. But because of a war in my native Nicaragua and because of separation from my parents, in my mid-20s, I began to experience high anxiety, panic attacks. Maybe you've experienced something like it. Sweaty palms. It seems like at times my body would just completely melt down. My mind and my vision would get blurry. Other times I had chest pains and what felt like a heart attack. But it really wasn't a heart attack. It was a panic attack. But through the grace of God and the support of my wife, I began to acquire the tools and the knowledge to be able to live a life of joy. To be able to now be married 20 years to the love of my life, raising 3 amazing teenagers, a pastor, a musician, and now an author and entrepreneur. And my desire really is to help you understand how to do the same so that you can also live a life free of anxiety. A life where you can, as a single mom, not fear that you're going to leave your kids alone. As a man, maybe in his 40s at midlife, that you can be free of anxiety and start that new business. Maybe you as a younger person, as someone who loves creativity, who loves to write, who loves to sing, to be able to be free of fear and be able to see your dreams come true. And that's why I've put together this video series called The 4 Common Questions Regarding Anxiety and How to Overcome Them. In this video, I'm going to help you, first of all, learn what are the 4 most common questions that I have noticed in people. And then, of course, to provide the answers to these questions. So let's get into it. The first question that most people ask me is very simple, and that is, help with my control. Most people that I talk to deal with high levels of control and they need help. They tell me, Trigg, I can't let go of controlling my kids. I feel like every time anxiety gets into my life, I want to control my children. The way they act, what they do, where they're at, I become very fearful. Other people that call me, that talk to me, they say, I lost my husband years ago. And now when I want to date or get into a new relationship, I can't help but control this new person. I'm afraid that he's going to leave me the way my first husband left. Other people, they live with a lot of anger because they can't control their situations at work, the people they work with, or maybe because of pain in their past careers or their past jobs, they now live with high levels of anger. And so in this series, I want to help you understand how to actually let go of that control, how to actually learn the tools and the skills to lower your anger, to be able to trust once again, to be able to drive to the store without being afraid that something horrible is going to happen to you. The second question that I get asked a lot is, what exactly is anxiety? What exactly is a panic attack? What is the definition of a panic attack, an anxiety attack? Why does it happen to me? Why do I experience these things? Is it because of something in my childhood? Is it because of something I did in the past? Is it genetic? Should I take these pills and pop them in and hope that it goes away? What if I don't want to take pills? What do I do in order to understand my anxiety? And most of all, how do I overcome my anxiety? Is there something I can do today? How can this go away immediately? Here it is. I know what it's like to deal with panic attacks. I know what it's like to want a magic pill for this to just simply go away. There is no magic pill, but what there is and what I want to offer you is the understanding and the tools to know what a panic attack is and to actually come up with a plan that is tailor-made for you so that you know what to do when you're dealing with shortness of breath, when your husband is dealing with high levels of depression, when someone that you love, your child, your son, maybe someone in your church is dealing with fear and with anxiety. The third question that I get asked a lot, especially from people of faith, is where is God in my anxiety? Where is God? In the middle of my fear, in the middle of my anxiety, where is God? I hear people all the time telling me, Trig, I love God. I go to church. I believe that prayer and that deliverance is mine. And yet I go home Monday through Friday, when church is over, when the music is done, when the preacher closes his Bible, and I go back to depression. I can't get out of bed. Just last month, I met someone who loves God, goes to church every day, is involved in many ways in her church, and yet deals with high levels of depression. In fact, she was telling me, Trig, it seemed like for a whole year, I couldn't get out of bed. All I could think about was my anger because of something that happened at work. And the depression was so unbearable, it actually began to affect not just my health, but my kids. And I remember her telling me, I'm afraid of what my depression may have done to my children now that they're growing. You know, that's something that many times we face, especially as people of faith. We don't know how God on Sundays can seem so close to us, and we feel such deliverance, and we feel so free and so thankful for the grace of God. And yet Tuesday, and yet Thursday, we say, God, where are you? What can I do? So in this third module, I'm going to teach you the principles that you will learn how to bring together your faith into your day-to-day life. And I know it's going to help you. The last question I think is really important. That is going to go to most of the people that may be watching this video. And that is, I don't deal with anxiety, but I know somebody that does. What can I do? And that is basically saying, how can I help somebody that is in need? What can I do as a husband to help my wife? What can I do as a wife to help my husband who deals with depression? Maybe your husband is a pastor of a church. Maybe he is a leader of a nonprofit. Or maybe he's just an elder or someone who loves God. And you as a wife, you see him struggling with depression and he has nowhere to turn to. He's not going to go to a therapist. He doesn't have the means. Maybe there's even a struggle in his own faith of where is God, of how can God allow this. This last video is going to help you actually understand what to say to the anxious person, how to help your anxious son, how to help your anxious daughter, how to help an anxious family member. You know, many times a lot of entrepreneurs, creative types, musicians, counselors, people that give and give and give, they all struggle with some hidden level of anxiety and they don't have anybody to talk to. Wouldn't it be great if you were someone that could help that person in need? And you could actually impact not just the life of that leader, but the life of hundreds and maybe thousands of people that leader influences. You know, you might be saying to yourself, I don't really need this stuff. It's not for me. I'm really going to just deal with it on my own. Maybe you're somebody who, because of culture, family traditions, or even your own faith, you really believe that by praying and by trusting in God in private, you are going to be able to overcome anxiety. You know, I'm not saying that God and being private about these things isn't enough. Of course, God is enough. But I am convinced from my own experience and the lives of many people that I've talked to that you and I need to learn how to combine your knowledge of God and your faith in God with the tools that are out there that are accessible to you. You might be somebody who's saying, you know, this is too expensive. I don't want to go to some therapist. I don't want to have to talk about these things. I'd rather it would just go away. Let me ask you a question. Is that working for you? Are you noticing your anxiety coming back? Is it a revolving door? Maybe for a few days, even a few weeks, you feel like, hey, I'm free of anxiety. I'm trusting God, going to church, reading my Bible. But do you find that in a few weeks, maybe in a month or two, it comes back? Maybe you feel like your friends are there for you, that your mom and your brother and your sister, that is enough. But have you asked them, Mom, Dad, husband, wife, do you feel like I'm getting better in this? What a great opportunity this is as we head into the holidays to have a tool that is available in your phone, that is mobile, that you don't have to go to a computer, you don't have to go to a therapist's couch, you don't have to go and talk to anybody per se, but that in your own phone, whether it's in the morning, at lunch, late in the evening, at midnight, at 2 a.m. when people often deal with depression, you can access this content right in your own house, right in the palm of your hand. I am so convinced that these resources are going to actually help you find that grace that you're looking for, and not just simply overcome anxiety, but my heart, if you know me, is to actually live a life of gozo. Gozo, by the way, means joy. My heart really is that you will live your God-given adventure, that you will find grace in your crisis, and that you will discover who and what you love. And in the second video that I'm going to send to you, I'm going to actually go through each one of these questions one by one and break them down into modules so that you can get a glimpse into what exactly you're going to be learning. One of the questions that people ask me all the time is, Trig, does this work? Is this going to actually help me? Why should I get this and invest into something I don't even know it works? Let me tell you, I have gone through these very questions with hundreds of people. People that have been here in my office, here in my home, people that I've met at church, people that have called me, people that have messaged me. And I can tell you that these 4 questions and their answers to their questions, and of course the tools that I teach, are helping people every day. Just a few months ago, I was at a church speaking and I went through these 4 questions, and person after person came up to me afterwards saying, thank you. How can I get a hold of these tools? What can I do to find this kind of help? Now, let me tell you one last thing. This is still, unfortunately, a very hidden problem among many people. Even though the stats are that 40% of people deal with high levels of fear, anxiety, and depression, 4 out of 10 people in your office, your church, your home, 4 out of 10 people deal with these symptoms. They hide them. They hope it'll go away. They don't really know even what they're dealing with. It may come out more with anger or violence or sadness, or they may say that I'm feeling under the weather, or maybe they're saying I'm feeling a little dizzy. But truly what's underneath that is high levels of anxiety, high levels of fear. This video course will help you or someone that you love actually find the tools and learn from my heart and the things that I've learned. I'm not a therapist, but I'm a pastor who has dealt with this and who is a success story. So I want to invite you to go to my website, lifeofgozo.com, and on there you're going to see a link to a free ebook that I want to give to you as a gift, just as a way to express my appreciation for you watching this video. And it's called How to Have an Anxiety-Free Holiday. It's a free ebook that I wrote just last month, laying out 5 steps that you can take right now. We're in December. What a great time for you to be able to lower the anxiety that you may feel. Anxiety is everywhere because of events that are happening literally around us right now, because of things that happened a month ago, maybe even years ago, maybe just you don't even know why you're feeling anxious. But the holidays is a time where many people feel anxious. Let me finish with a story. Just last month, I was flying back from some family in Oregon. Next to me sat this beautiful lady in her late 60s. She began to talk to me just about life and about her love for events. She's actually a wedding coordinator. But then just in a matter of moments, in a matter of seconds, she told me that she lost her husband 2 years ago and that she's still grieving his loss. She also told me something that was kind of surprising and difficult to hear. She told me that she has been emailing or texting with a therapist, an online therapist back in Florida. This therapist not only is helping her, but also sending her flowers. He's married, he's a therapist, but he is sending her flowers, telling her that he's there for her, texting her late at night, basically crossing some lines. And my friend next to me, she was saying, oh, I know there's nothing going on. I'm sure that it's all good, but I miss my husband and it's nice to have somebody that is thinking about me. I told her about my program. I told her about anxiety. I told her about the problem with when we grieve, how we are susceptible to people taking advantage of us. She listened, we talked, we prayed, we were able to connect at some level. I'm thankful that God put me there next to her to at least provide a different way of thinking, because she might very well be in danger of having somebody take advantage of her and her possessions. That's why this course is so important. There are so many people around you that are on the edge, living with a hidden pain, with a hidden fear, with a hidden sense of anxiety and depression, and they do not know how to respond. And you might be the person that God is putting in their lives to provide simple resources to help them along the way. I want to encourage you to go to lifeofghosted.com and get this free ebook in order to live a life of joy, a life of grace, a life of peace and love in the middle of fear, anxiety, and depression. Thanks so much for watching. I am so glad that you took the time to listen to this video. Have a great rest of this day, and I will see you next time.